Hey, what's up? JJ here, and today we're going to look at the LEGO Harry Potter 2021 castle system. In 2023, they came out with instructions how to combine a bunch of these sets together to form one Hogwarts build, and today we're going to look at that. In this video, we're going to do four things. First, I'm going to show you this build from a bunch of different angles so you can really see what it looks like. I'll talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this design. After that, I'm going to show you how I kind of rearrange some of these pieces, show a couple customs that I easily added into this system. Third, we will look at each of these sets, kind of like a mini quick overview review of the set. And then finally, I'm going to show you how I set it up on my Amazon L-shaped bookshelf back there. But let's get started looking at this castle system. The first thing I want to point out is in the instructions booklet for some of the 2023 sets, they kind of give you instructions on how to combine these 7 sets together. I actually had to kind of force open my book a little bit further because there's one of the towers I couldn't see from any of the angles. But after doing that, I'm pretty sure I got each of the pieces assembled in the correct space based on these designs. Now, I would love to say that in 2021, the designers had a grand plan of how to make all of these LEGO sets work together, but I ultimately do not think that to be true. There are 2 sets, both the Fluffy Encounter as well as the First Flying Lesson, that have castle component, but they don't fit into this larger build. Additionally, neither of the gift with purchases, the Grand Staircase or the Gryffindor Common Room, fit into this build either. So I like this, but ultimately I'm not sure it was well planned out. In terms of design, I do think they create the angles of what we expect the Hogwarts castle to look like, but there are some issues I have structurally. For instance, some of these pieces, like the bridge pieces, they can connect to each other, but they don't really have good connection points to the rest of the castle. Luckily, that isn't true for most of it. Most other pieces do connect well. There are some exceptions, of course. You can see this tower kind of on its own. What's interesting is when you make these connections in the instructions, you're often taking a roof piece from one set, putting it on top of a different set. It creates kind of an unexpected, not really well fleshed out interior. The exterior looks fantastic, however. And just to give you a nice overview of the exterior, the designers did a nice job capturing some of these shapes that we know for the Hogwarts castle, which is really neat. But we're now going to look at the interior and see how sometimes that kind of falls flat with the play features. All right, looking at this initial build, there are 2 things that I don't love about it. Here we can see the Polyjuice potion mistake, and one of the cool play features, of course, was that it opened up and you're supposed to be able to put the minifigures into the Chamber of Secrets. However, notice how underneath of that is the library. Here we see that slide from the Chamber of Secrets underneath Lockhart's classroom. I understand that's kind of a funny play. Oh, Lockhart's going to go in the chamber. But one of my priorities when I kind of push these around in the way that I think is best is I always make sure this piece is above this piece. It's the first move I make when I'm kind of assembling these sets. I'm not sure why the designers did not do that. Something else I wish they had done is I wish this piece right here was actually a little bit taller. This is the highest point of the Hogwarts castle. And while it is currently the highest point, we have the whole Fluffy Encounter, which could easily make this twice as tall with 2 additional levels. So I wish they would have done something like that. Some of these connection pieces just look really sloppy, like right here where there's not really a similarity between the layers. I know it's to create this weird angle. I just wish they had cleaned that up a little bit in some way. This roof piece here is a good example when I talk about it's not super structurally sound. Here you can see it only really has the support on half of the roof. It looks good and it kind of makes sense, but if they had thought this out better, this could have been closed off a bit more. And this right here is the tower that you really can't see anywhere in the instruction booklet unless you kind of completely rip it open. But I was happy that I had these 3 pieces remaining, and so it made sense for it to go there, but I was glad I was able to tear that open to see. And I do want to look at the aerial shot of this castle because I definitely think that is one of the strengths of this Hogwarts castle, is how it really creates the outline or the shape that we expect to see when looking at that castle. I really do love what the designers were going with here, kind of connecting all these sets together. I think it was a great idea that maybe wasn't executed the best. So now we're going to look at some of the changes that I make when I'm making these sets all combined. As I start reconstructing the 2021 LEGO Hogwarts castle system into what I think is better, I kind of want to talk about what is important to me in this design. Functionality with where the sets are is really important. I don't care quite as much that it creates that perfect Hogwarts shape that we know. only because I display this on a shelf anyways, and so I kind of want to keep some of the pieces together that make the most sense. And like I said, my first step is I'm putting the girls' bathroom on top of this slide piece. Now, while it's not important for me to keep all sets together, there are some of these sets that I really like, and one of those is Dumbledore's office. I think they did a really good job with the design of this, so I'm going to try and keep this set together as much as possible, keeping in mind that it does open, so it has a lot of ability to create different angles as we're making this system. And something else that's important to me is I want to keep these rock bases together as much as possible. I don't want to transition from rock to castle back to rock unless there is a transition piece kind of included in the set. In this set, I am going to include the fluffy encounter. I have changed it a bit. I've kind of turned this balcony into just an open space with a broom, and I've combined a couple of the fluffy encounter sets to create more Devil's Snare. That leaves kind of this open chamber, which I'm going to add some more keys into, which leads to the bottom, which is going to be the wizard's chest with a hole to go into the final challenge, which will be in the dungeon. The next thing I did is I put some of my sets back together, the hospital wing, the room of requirement, as well as the courtyard. Not that they're going to stay together necessarily, just with moving around so many roof pieces from before, I want to see exactly what I have to work with. And I will talk about it in my review of this set, but I think the Battle of Hogwarts set is actual trash. It just falls apart as I'm trying to place pieces together. So these are the pieces I'm going to use last in my build of Hogwarts. All right, so one custom that I made was kind of this library. I'm going to put this underneath the Great Hall. I'm doing this for two reasons. I have extra towers here, so that's going to make everything a little bit taller, and I didn't want the Great Hall to be that much shorter than everything else. And so these are just pieces from extra sets I bought, as well as the pick-a-brick wall at the Lego store. And then from the inside, I'm happy enough with how it works. From the outside, I don't like it nearly as much, just because, you know, we see that rise up from the boathouse to the Great Hall should be all windows. My original plan was to change this to kind of match the windows, but with the 2024 new Lego Castle system, I'm just probably not going to. I have quite a few options to make Dumbledore's tower taller. There is this gift with purchase that was not used by the designers. The bottom of the Fluffy Encounter set, I actually have two of those sets, so I have two of these rock faces I can use. And then the Flying Lesson set also has some of these tower pieces that I could use in some way, and I'm going to kind of work these through to see what I like best. So for the base, I took the two rock faces from the Fluffy Encounter sets. The one in the middle there is actually from the Battle at Hogwarts. And then I took the Gryffindor Common Room, as well as one half of the Trophy Room from the first Flying Lesson set. And obviously the top is Dumbledore's office. And here's what we have going so far. Part of me might move the girls' bathroom just to create more of a courtyard area here. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do that yet. Next, to create the clock tower, I use the pieces from the first Flying Lesson. On the left is the Sirius escape, and then there on the right is Gilderoy Lockhart's office. And then at the top, of course, is where we have the clock tower. Ultimately, my Hogwarts ends up looking something like this, which isn't the perfect shape for the Hogwarts castle. And there's definitely needs to be some piece replacement. Obviously, I wouldn't want these studs showing. But I kind of like the way it works, and it kind of forms that L shape that is going to be important for my shelving that I have for all of these castle sets. All right, and here you can see how I display this on my L-shaped shelf. First, we have the Chamber of Secrets, and then we can see the bridge, the Battle of Hogwarts, and behind that, of course, we have Lockhart's classroom, as well as Sirius's tower and the courtyard pieces. Towards the middle back is where you can see Dumbledore's office, as well as some of the parts from the first Flying Lesson set. Then I've taken the kind of the clock tower piece from the Battle of Hogwarts, and then that tall building in the back is the Fluffy Encounter that I've kind of doubled up for the additional rooms. Here we see the clock tower, which is on top of the Gryffindor Common Room gift with purchase and the other two pieces of the first Flying Lesson. And then kind of I kept the room requirement as was. I really like that build. And then, as I said, I was going to have the grand staircase facing us. It doesn't really work, but it's just too pretty to have facing the other way. Okay, so those are all of the 2021 Lego Harry Potter castle sets as I arrange them on my bookshelf. This took a lot longer than I thought it would to take all the sets down, kind of put them in the original way that the designers told us to make them, and then put them back on my shelf. But I do like it, kind of clean some things up, dust a little bit. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Now that we've looked at the combined 2021 LEGO Harry Potter Castle system, and I showed you how I've changed it for my shelf, I'm now going to just do a quick 1-minute review of each of the sets. If you're interested in watching that, go ahead and stick around. First up, we have set 76389, the Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets. This set retailed for $129.99 with 1,176 pieces. It was released in 2001. We have great minifigures: Professor Sinistra, Dumbledore, a glow-in-the-dark, nearly headless Nick, Tom Riddle, Gilderoy Lockhart, Harry Potter, Colin Creevey, Luna Lovegood, Ginny Weasley, and Justin. Now, a lot of people don't love the Great Hall with this set, but I need to remind you, it's called the Chamber of Secrets, not the Great Hall, so I'm okay with it being a little bit smaller. We do get a fun Basilisk build with this set, who's going to crawl out of Salazar Slytherin. But looking at the top, of course, we have a really nice Great Hall, much smaller than many others, but some cool details hidden there. We have Gilderoy Lockhart's classroom, as well as his office and the astronomy tower. And then down on the bottom, we have the Chamber of Secrets, a slide that, you can't really use that play feature with the set as it comes, which is unfortunate. The Salazar Slytherin statue with some cool snake pieces. And then this is a unique piece, kind of opens up to enter the chamber. Doesn't really fit anywhere, but I do like that they included it because it looks really cool. There we can see. Looking at this rock face, you can actually kind of open this piece up, and this opens up the area for the basilisk to kind of crawl through. And here we have set 76386, the Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake. This set retailed for $19.99 in the US and had 217 pieces, and really is one of the best $20 sets we've seen with LEGO Harry Potter. There are 3 minifigures. However, you can kind of think of it as 6 because Crabbe and Goyle, if you spin them around, you have a Harry and Ron kind of freaked out expression, because they are using the Polyjuice potion. And then this Hermione figure has this great cat headpiece. The set itself was pretty nice, and of course it lifts up right here. The bathroom sink lifts up as an entrance into the Chamber of Secrets. And in 2001, we have set 76395, Hogwarts First Flying Lesson. This set retailed for $29.99 in the US with 264 pieces. 3 minifigures. There we can see Neville, Madam Hooch, and Malfoy. What was odd about this build is you had these 2 pieces that formed, some Quidditch supplies and then a trophy room. And this fit the scale for what they were building the new LEGO Hogwarts system with. But then you had this door piece, which was half of that, which made it odd trying to fit it into the castle. And here we have the gift with purchase, set 40452, Hogwarts Gryffindor Dorms with 148 pieces. 2 minifigures, Harry and Ron. We've seen them in these outfits before, but what is cool is it comes with the opportunity to display all of those chocolate frog cards. It did not come with all of these, of course. This is me having collected all the 16 chocolate frog cards from the various sets, but it was nice to have a way to display them within one of the castle sets. From 2022, we have set 76398, the Hospital Wing. This set retailed for $49.99 and had a 510 pieces. It came with 4 minifigures, Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Madame Pomfrey. If you look at the torsos, you can see they're these traditional Prisoner of Azkaban outfits, but they're really dirty and messed up, which I like quite a bit. There's also some cool pieces with Ron's leg and Hermione's cast, and the introduction of Madame Pomfrey. The actual clock itself is really neat, and I like the play feature where you can move those hands. And there are some great details with the Skelegro there. You can see these hospital beds. So overall, a pretty decent build. $50, this is where I really started noticing that LEGO Harry Potter was getting a bit pricey for what you got. This is close to what I think this set was probably worth. And here we have set 76402, Hogwarts Dumbledore's Office. This set retailed for $79.99 with 654 pieces. It has 6 minifigures. We can see Snape, Filch, Harry, Hermione, Dumbledore, and Madame Pince. This set has one of my favorite exteriors for all the Lego Harry Potter sets from this line, especially the roof piece. I think just works really well. On the inside, there's a fun play feature with those books that makes the vines move around. I love Dumbledore's office. There we can see the sorting hat, as well as Fawkes or Baby Fawkes. The Sword of Gryffindor is here at the top. And then, of course, we see here the pensieve, which Harry will use to access memories. Here we have set 76401, Hogwarts Courtyard, Sirius's Rescue. This set retailed for $49.99 with 345 pieces. And this is one of those sets that was certainly overpriced. I would have liked to pick up a few of them to create some more towers, but I couldn't find them on sale, so I just have the one for my collection. Looking at the minifigures, we have Hermione. She looks great. A lot of dirt there on her jacket to make her unique. Do like the inclusion of Buckbeak. It's a nice figure. I prefer when the wings match the body a bit more. I know that's different than the feathers in the movie, but that's just my preference. And this is a pretty good Sirius figure as well, with the jumpsuit there and the tears. The reason I was curious in getting a few extras of these is definitely because of those courtyard designs. I would have liked to create a larger courtyard scene. The first floor is just the staircase. Then you have a broom, and then of course the jail cell Sirius will escape from at the end. Here we see set 40577, the Hogwarts Grand Staircase. Now this kind of fits in with the Hogwarts system. As you can see, there are some connection pieces there, but it's a bit of a bigger scale, so I don't really know what their plans were. I usually display this with these Hogwarts castles, but really facing forwards, just because it's such a pretty set with all the prints. And from 2023, we have set 76413, the Hogwarts Room of Requirement. This set retailed for $49.99 and had 587 pieces. This set had some great minifigures. We don't see a lot of torsos for any of the characters really in the later films. So getting Hermione and Harry with similar outfits but different was nice. Of course, we have the Grey Lady, Malfoy with a really nice print there on his tie, and then Blaise Zabini. One of my favorite features of this set is this little side piece. It can kind of push into any of the roof pieces throughout the Hogwarts system, and it just looks really cool. The interior of the set is quite neat, really showing the room of requirement, all the cool little features, and then nothing too special kind of about these roof builds, and that was common for these Harry Potter sets where the roofs were not really a lot going on. Nice scroll there, however. And of course, let's not forget the fire dragon that comes with this set. And here are the broken down pieces for my least favorite Lego Harry Potter set, maybe of all time, but definitely like in the top 5. Set 76415, the Battle of Hogwarts. This retailed for $79.99 with 730 pieces. And the structural integrity of this set is so low. I mean, pieces just like, without even touching them, break apart. Let's focus on the positives for a little bit. The minifigures are great. Molly Weasley with a really cool torso printing. Bellatrix, which has really nice arm printing there. I love the face on this Voldemort figure. Veneer Greyback. Neville, a really great sweater piece and print, plus that sort of Gryffindor. Harry Potter is pretty standard. But I want to kind of look at some of these pieces and explain why I just don't love them. I mean, looking at the bridge piece, these come off so easily. Every time I'm trying to snap them together, I just have pieces flying everywhere. Same with this, there's, whoops. Same with this. I know it's supposed to be for customizability, but look at that connection there. Like, it's not even, why is it not just a square piece? I just don't really get it. These little room pieces aren't too bad. Not a lot going on, but at least they're structurally sound. Wait, is that missing? See, I think that's probably somewhere on the bottom of another set. Yep, found it right here. There you can see one has already fallen over. It's just really hard to connect these pieces in this set. So this is the last thing I'm going to add to my shelf when I try and kind of complete my Hogwarts. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to stay updated with LEGO leaks, rumors, news, and reviews, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. I will see you all next time, and I'm excited for the 2024 LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle system. I do think the designers are doing a better job thinking ahead of time, so I'm really excited to see what that all looks like.